Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Digital Cookie Training. I really appreciate you all being here tonight. We are going to get started here, and if we have any folks with audio issues, a good rule of thumb is you can often call in using the call-in number while watching the presentation on the screen. My name is Melissa Hall. I'm the Product Program Specialist for Regions 3 and 4. We also have Laura on the line. She's the Product Program Manager statewide. So hopefully we'll be able to answer all of your questions this evening. I will dive into the training in just a moment, but I do like to get started first just looking at potential login issues. So as a Troop Cookie Manager, hopefully you've already been in to take a look at your site, but you may have parents also letting you know that they're having trouble getting into the digital cookie site. So I just kind of wanted to show you really quickly how easy it is to troubleshoot that site to get logged in. So bear with me just a moment here. Okay. So in looking at the digital cookie site, this is where you'll log in. It is the same login as a troop leader as a caregiver. So you'll be able to toggle back and forth between looking at your troop and looking at just your girls. Now, if you have a parent letting you know that they're having difficulty accessing the site, this is what you'll want to tell them to do. They'll come to digitalcookie.girlscouts.org/login. I did put it in the chat log, and I will copy paste it into there one more time for you as well, in case it got a little bit buried there. So once they go to this page, if they're having trouble, they can go need help to log in right here. So the first thing they could do is just simply click this request a registration email and type their email address into here and click submit. They'll get the email within 15 minutes. They're going to want to check their junk or spam folder. If that doesn't work, or it says that that email address is not found, then they'll come down here to check the email address that's on file for you. So sometimes parents forget the email that they first used when their girl was in kindergarten. And if they're not a troop leader regularly logging into MyGS, then it may be buried in an email they don't ordinarily use. So they'll come to the site that says check the email address on file for you. They are going to come down to Girl Scouts of Colorado and click search. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in my daughter's information just so I can show you what happens. So you put in the first name, the last name, and the troop number. I mean, I would caution them just to think about the first name that their daughter is registered as. So for instance, my daughter's Abby, but she's in Salesforce as Abigail. If it doesn't come up the first time, I might try Abby. So I'm going to put in her first name, last name, and troop number and click search. Then the very cool thing here is that it's going to show me her information. It's going to show me who's registered as her caregiver. Then it's going to give me most of the email address. So it's usually enough information for me to say, oh yeah, okay, I used my Outlook account for that. So that'll remind me, and then I can go log into Digital Cookie. If I need then if I forgot the password for it, but I know the email, I can just click forgot password right here. So super easy steps to help your parents, and that should get them into the site without any issues. If all of that doesn't work, then that's where you'll go ahead and contact us, or you can click on the help down here to submit a trouble ticket for the Digital Cookie online access. We will come back and use this more live in just a few minutes, but I am going to flip over to the training for just a moment so we can get started. I am totally fine with everybody going ahead to type questions in the chat log. Laura and I will triage them as they come in. I will also have time at the end where we can unmute our microphones and ask questions or have general discussion at that time. When changing the password, will it change in the Girl Scouts webpage? Great question, Jeanette. No, the password is only for the Digital Cookie website and app. So it is the same password to log into the Digital Cookie website as the Digital Cookie app, which is where you can take payment during the program, but it will not change the password for MyGS. So it's not linked in that way. I hope that answered that question. 2020 Digital Cookie program. We're going to get started here. We have our cute little daisy showcasing our lemon up. So we're going to go over the digital cookie and how to use it, troop leader views, and then the mobile app at the end. So digital order card. This is a very awesome website and app that we have because it does not charge for any credit card fees. So we do hear every year that there are some things that our troop cookie managers would love to see, like a credit card slider and reader. And we definitely hear that feedback. Things are being developed all of the time, and we will definitely have everyone be the first to know as we learn of any updates. But for this cookie season, we will be going with the app just as it is, which is to type in the credit cards and to use it for shipping. And I'm going to go a little bit more into that now. So when you digital cookie email, so everyone should have gotten their digital cookie email already. So Troop Cookie Managers received it on the 12th of January and caregivers received it on January 19th. It may have gone into a junk or spam folder. If you get a new girl and she registers into MyGS, it usually takes us about 48 hours to get her into eBuddy, and then that should sync with getting a digital cookie email out to the caregiver as well. So once you see the girl come into your roster in MyGS, you're probably looking at about 72 hours to get the digital cookie link. Often it's less in the height of the program when we're adding girls every day, but sometimes it can be up to 72 hours. So please just be patient with us on that. And then you can feel free to check in at about the 72-hour mark if the caregiver still has not seen something for that girl. So it's going to be 4 easy steps. You're going to register, set up your site, invite customers, and there's a way to track the goal. So I'm going to show you a little bit. Oh, I apologize. I kicked my carbon monoxide thing. Just a moment. Okay, got it. Okay. So I do always recommend to everybody that they mark this sender safe email at email.girlscouts.org in their email. It's a good reason, a good idea to do this because otherwise sometimes they go to spam or junk or they get filtered out entirely. So I have added this to my VIP list for my email address where for both my work and my home where my girls' emails come to. So I just kind of made a contact card for it, added this user, and this way I make sure that the emails go into the appropriate box and I'm not missing things when a customer makes an order or if I need to approve my teenager's site and things like that. And I will show you how to do that in a moment. When you follow the link in the email, it's going to ask you to create your new digital cookie password. So you'll go and create the password. It does not require a special character, but you can add one if you like. I like to make it something that's easy to log into at a cookie booth with frozen fingers. So you can keep it, I think it's 6 digits is the minimum. It may be 8, but so something that will be easy for you to use when you're out at King Super. There is a safety video there, and you also approve terms and take the internet safety pledge. So this is a really great video to watch with your daughters. It's only about maybe 5 minutes long, but it talks really about how to stay safe on the internet, how to use the digital order card safely. It's got cute little bunny characters. So when I got the link for my girls' email, I made sure I had all of them with me when it played the first time, although you can go back and access it later. You'll also approve all of the terms for digital order card and agree to all of the safety. Once you log in, it's going to ask you if you want to log in as a troop leader or if you're logging in as a caregiver. You can then, as a caregiver, go in and register your girls. And I'm going to go live to the site to show you. So when I log in, and this is just going to show me my daughter's sites, I'm going to have this awesome little drop-down menu here that shows everyone that's registered in my household. I can then toggle between them and I can see if they're set up and ready to go. I'll be able to track their sales progress, look at all of their customers, and send their emails. A lot of functionality is not available yet because we don't launch until February 2nd, but they can get everything all set to go. This is for my youngest. She has a sales goal this year of 225 packages. It allowed me to enter that. It'll track it as she sells them. And then if you come to I do so much in the app, so bear with me just a second. Okay, so she's created her whole page here, but I have not yet approved and published because I wanted to show all of you. So I allow them to go in and make their own little cookie story and add their photo or video. So she said, my troop is going camping at Ham Hut and Garden of the Gods and helping the Wild Blue Cat Shelter. It's going to send this information out to her customers. So I want to double check it and make sure it's good information. Also that they're not giving any identifying information in their digital order card link. So I'm looking at it, everything's good. I'm gonna come up here and I will approve and publish her site. So now she will be ready to go on February 2nd. Now, if you have a child who is 13 or over, when you first log in to register your girls, it's going to have you add the girl email address. Now, it doesn't have to be the girl email address, but it does have to be a unique email address to the one that you used to log into Digital Cookie. So you'll add that email address and they will then have to log in using that email address, create the site, and then it's going to send it back to me to actually approve and publish it. But then she'll be logging in using that email address at the booths if she's 13 or older. Greg, I do see your question here. You can register more than one scout under your own email address. Yes, you can register all of the scouts in your household that are under 13 under your email address. You'll also be able to monitor the site of any of your 13 years or older on that same email address. Okay. There is a little information if you'd like to, when you go under girl accounts, it'll give you information on how it works for 12 years and younger versus 13 years and older if you have questions. On the site, there's lots of really cool stuff for them to utilize and play with. They can actually go in here and work on their badges. So I'm under my daughter Penny. She's a brownie, so it's going to come to all of her financial literacy badges. So it'll go step by step. It'll ask her, so for the Meet My Customers, it'll give her ideas for how to meet every step and she can check them off. This information does not go to her Troop Cookie Manager. So as the caregiver, you'll have to make sure to let the Troop Cookie Manager know if you've completed these steps, if your troop is not doing them already, okay? And then there is a learning tab here with games and videos, take action planner, a whole lot of really cool tools that they can use. Cookie site setup is where we were looking at how to publish and put out their site. It's also going to give you their link on February 2nd and allow you to send the choice of marketing emails. So that will be on your customer tab. So this is my cookie customers. So it will bring back in any customers that the girl had last year. Which is really great. So if you have built up a customer base over the years, you'll just be able to select all of your prior customers and send the email out to them. It'll allow you to choose which email you would like. There are 3 different options that you can send out to customers. There's one for the beginning of the sale, one for the end of the sale. And so the girl is really learning how to operate and build an online business. So very cool functionality here. If you did fall, it works a lot like fall as far as this front end goes. So go back over to the training. Okay, so once they set up the site, they're going to utilize the digital cookie in one of 2 ways. And I did show you all of this with the marketing emails already. And your share URL that you'll get on February 2nd. So you will be able to see with your customers if they did in fact choose to order cookies, so then you can exclude them from more emails that you're sending out. So this is really teaching girls, how to interact with customers, how to do marketing, the line between communicating and over communicating. So it's really neat to put the girl in control and really involve her in this process. Okay, so you're going to use this site in one of 2 ways. The first one is for shipping. So girl logs in, she's sending emails, and she wants to send it to grandma who lives in New Jersey to purchase cookies and have them shipped from Little Brownie Baker to grandma. So Girl will send the email, grandma will follow the link. She can go shop online. She will have to pay shipping to have it sent to her. So these are the shipping rates. They are, of course, expensive to ship the cookies, but if you do attempt to ship them on your own through the post office, you'll find that they are more than this to ship an entire case of cookies. So, you know, they do everything they can to keep you competitive. And this is the shipping chart. There is a $5 surcharge for orders shipping to Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, APO, FPO, and US Virgin Islands. Unfortunately, at this time, we do not ship to Canada or Mexico or any other countries if they are not an APO or FPO. Also, if the girl does get an order for an APO or FPO, we had a few that were to military bases in Japan last year, there is a manual back-end process to check the address and approve it. So don't be surprised if you don't see the order for a couple of days on the back end of eBuddy. It does take a couple of days for them to manually check that and it to show up under the girls' transactions. Okay. So, troop leader and volunteer view. So you will be able to switch at the top of the site between looking at your troop or looking at your girls. Service unit, troop, and girl all have pretty much the same elements on their dashboard. It's going to show you the type of cookies you've sold by variety, how many total orders, and how many packages were sold. It'll also show you what was donated, what was shipped, and what you did as DOC in hand, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. As a troop leader, you can look at reports that will show you the date and time for a girl. This can be really useful to you if you are using the DOC app at booths. So if you know that you did, if you're going back to reconcile your booth after, and we will look at that in a few moments here, and you know that you had one girl in your troop, and we'll use the name Reagan because it's right here. So Reagan was the one who took digital order cookie orders during that booth time. You can go pull the report and you'll be able to see on Saturday between 12 and 2 all of the digital cookie orders she took from customers at the booth. And that will help you because all of those payments are going to be applied to Reagan's account in eBuddy, but they were for troop cookies. So you're going to have to move some troop cookies over to even that, to negate the payment so that it zeroes out. And then you'll subtract that from the total cookies at the booth and then divide it evenly between the girls. So we will allow some time at the end if there's any troop cookie managers on here who want to share exactly how they do booths. But most find that it is easiest to have one girl take all of the orders during a booth because then they're able to easily see what all she took at the end. So this, your troop leader dashboard, it's going to have a list of all of your girls' names, GSUSA IDs, and their date of births. When you log in and look now, it's probably only going to be your daughter that has a parent name and email address, or no, I'm sorry, actually, that's not true because now the emails have gone out. So any parent that has already logged in, their email address and name will come up. You'll be able to see if they have published their site or not. So if you are tracking for your girls who is utilizing the DOC, if you're trying to get more parents to sign in, this is an easy, quick way for you to take a look and see who's been able to utilize it and reach out to say, hey, do you need some help logging in? Or can I bring my laptop to the next meeting and we can go ahead and set up the cookie store for you? So it'll give you that information very quickly at a glance. Okay, this is going to show you in eBuddy what you're going to see when a girl takes various kinds of orders. We do not use any of the delivered functionality that you see on the bottom of this slide, so we're going to skip over that. But for DOC shipped, it means that grandma placed the order for cookies. So it will, in the back order line, as you can see, it will add the cookies to the girl's inventory. So here, grandma was very generous and purchased 47 packages of cookies. So she ordered 20 packages of Samoas, 11 packages of tag-alongs, 12 toffees, and 4 trefoils. So that was 47 additional packages that that girl sold that then get added onto her transaction tab. And then it says the total due for those kinds of cookies. and it adds the amount paid so that the balance due is 0. Now, when we go to in-hand orders, and it will not add inventory because the girl was only taking a payment for cookies that you, as the Troop Cookie Manager, have already checked out to her. So on the first day of the program, when the girl comes over to you, and the girl and her parent come, you write out the receipt and give them 100 packages of cookies. They don't take any s'mores or toffee, so they owe you $400 at that point. The girl goes home, she goes to her next door neighbors, and she makes her first sale. The neighbor doesn't have cash, so wants to pay for 5 packages of $4 cookies using a credit card. So the neighbor is going to pay $20 to the credit card. So you will see a line item in eBuddy that says DOC in hand, and it'll say paid $20, but it will put zeros for all of the types of cookies. That is because she's only taking payment for cookies that you have already checked out to her in eBuddy, so it's not adding more to her inventory. It will then reduce the amount of money that the girl owes to, or that the girl and her caregiver owe back to you, the Troop Cookie Manager, because she's taken those payments through the DOC link. Now, there are some troop leaders and parents who prefer to pay the troop leader through the DOC app, and that is okay. The parent can do a sale for in hand of all of the cookies purchased and use their own debit card to send the payment to the troop account using the credit card, and it will reduce the amount the troop owes in the ACH. And I will show you that on the sales report. I know this is a little confusing, but when you get in there and they start to process through, you'll really see sort of how this works. The payments and deposits tab is going to show every single digital order cookie payment as well. You'll also be able to see it on the girl order tab by clicking on girls. I did want to caution everybody, and we will send out a reminder closer to as well, but we really get in there and make a ton of sales on the DOC on that first day. And we always have a 24 to 48 hour delay for the first set of payments that come through using the app. However, by usually like 3 or 4 days into the sale, it's only about an hour delay. So just please be patient those first couple of days seeing the payments. Okay. This is your sales report tab in eBuddy here. So this is going to show how it's going to reduce the amount of the ACH payment to council. So if you click on your sales report tab in eBuddy, it's going to show all of the cookies that you took in your initial order and then your cupboard pickups. So it'll show your total troop sales, which is the amount you owe, or the amount of the total amount of cookies that you've taken out. It's then going to subtract out your proceeds, so the 65 cents a box, and then it'll show council proceeds. So that would be the amount that you would owe council back with your ACH. But then up in the next column, it's going to record all of your DOC payments. So then those are going to show up as deposits made. And so this amount you owe council, which is listed here in the bottom right-hand corner, is the amount of your ACH. So you'll be able to constantly monitor that. It'll update in real time as the DOC payments come in, and you'll be able to see which parents are taking or accepting or making credit card payments, so then they'll owe you less. And that'll show up under the girl order tab as well, but then this is going to be the total amount of your ACH debit that occurs at the end of the program. Okay. So questions on the eBuddy section of it, I'll pause here before jumping into the customer view. Awesome. So we'll do another open question session at the end. But so customer view emails. So this is what it's going to look like for the customer who gets the email that we send for the shipped. This is not what it's going to look like for a customer who's making an in-hand payment on the app. We're going to get to that in just a moment. So if a customer is doing a shipped order, this is exactly what they're going to see. It's going to be just like, you know, a general online marketplace. So it'll allow them to put in the number of each kind of package they want. It will also give them the option to donate cookies through Gift of Caring. Now, this does not allow customers to donate to your hometown hero. If they want to do that in the in-app purchase, they're going to just select the variety, and then you'll know to earmark that package for your hometown hero. If you choose donate cookies on this site or in the app, it's going to be through Gift of Caring, which means they're never in your troops inventory. They ship directly from the Little Brownie Baker warehouse in Kentucky out to military bases and the VA hospitals. So the customer is going to see where the Girl Scout is in her goal setting. It'll allow them to select their cookies and go to start checkout. It'll ask them to place their shipping and billing address, their contact information, and their credit card information. It will ask them if they were a Girl Scout, if they are interested in learning more about Girl Scouts. They can select yes or no on all of that and then place the order. They will get a confirmation email after that that lets them know deliveries take place within 2 to 10 days. These shipped orders are final. If the customer gets product, like a product that is broken, or if they ordered all Thin Mints but got all trefoils, there is going to be a link on the digital cookie order page where they can go to ask for help with the delivery, and they'll be able to send them out a new shipment right away. We had very few of these last year, but the ones that we had were resolved right away. One customer got a package of broken Thin Mints and they had a new package in their hands within just a couple of days. So it's a very easy process there. So it will also give them a badge they can share on social media, as well as send them a confirmation email with their order number. And they'll get another email when the packages ship, so they can track it and they'll know when they will be arriving. Now, the mobile app, this is where the girl can log in to take cookie orders at the booth site. So parents and caregivers do have to set everything up on their computer on the actual site before they can log into the app. The app also will not be available until February 2nd to go there. It's the bottom. So Rachel asked where the help button is. If there are issues from online sales on the digital cookie page, it's right at the bottom. I'll flip over there really quickly. So you go down here to help, and there is a contact us. I haven't had to do this in a year. So order issues, and they'll be able to put in the information, email address, and order number, and then someone from their customer service will get in touch with them, or usually just ship them another package of cookies. And we'll circulate that link also right around the time the program begins, so that we have it back out there. Okay, awesome. Oops. All right, let me jump back into the training here so we can look at the mobile app. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to show you the mobile app live on the computer. I wish that I did. They do have to set it up on the computer. They are going to be able then to log into the MySite app. Again, you can switch your view from being a TCM to your girls to multiple girls in your family from there. Now, as the TCM, you do not have access to log in as the girls in your troop. So if their parent would have to be present to use their DOC app unless they're 13 or older. So a lot of times it is the troop cookie manager's daughter who ends up using the DOC at a lot of apps, just because you'll have access to her DOC and she's usually present with you when you're working the booth. Okay, so you'll have two options. One will be to take a new in-hand order, but you'll also have the option to email your site to a customer. So you might go to the neighbor's house and they might say, you know, I don't want to purchase any cookies right now, but I would like to, maybe I want to ship some to my daughter who's at college in Ohio. So she might ask you then to send an email with the link. So you can just put in the neighbor's first name, the neighbor's email address right from the app, click send email, and they will get a link to your page. But more often what you're going to do is you're going to be doing an in-hand order from the app. So you're going to go to the app, you're going to click on new order, and it'll give you a little menu to select the options. So all of the cookie varieties will come up. You can select 2 Samoas, 2 s'mores, and 2 donated packages, and it'll automatically calculate the amount that your customer owes you. You then will click checkout and give cookies to customer now. And then go through a typical checkout flow. So we're going to say right there, give cookies to customer now, which means you're handing it to them right then. We don't want to do a shipped order in this case because we're at the neighbor's house and we have the cookies and we're going to hand it to them. So we're not going to do shipped. We'll ask them the same questions if they were a Girl Scout, if they want information. Usually it's, you know, yes, there were a Girl Scout. No, they don't want any information. So then we'll go to the normal checkout process. You do type it in. So sometimes we do get the question, our customers kind of, do they get nervous about you typing in the phone? So really, no, I've had 3 girls doing this for a long time. We always use the DOC. We've never really been questioned about it. What we do is we just turn the phone outward toward the customer, show them exactly what we're typing in. It goes to the confirmation page and they are comfortable with it. Girl Scouts is a well-known and trusted organization, so this doesn't end up being an issue. I think it's just that the first time that Troop cookie managers and caregivers do it, they feel a little bit nervous about this process, but it really hasn't turned into any kind of an issue. So I would just say be transparent about what you're doing. So it'll give them a confirmation email or a confirmation page, and it will ask if you want to send them an email. So the easiest way to do this is at a booth is just to say, would you like a receipt for this? It will make you enter an email address. If they say no, you can just enter your own and get the emails sent to yourself. If they do want a receipt, then you can easily email it over to them. It's very easy. Now, you can place an X when you're at a booth taking in-hand orders for most of the information. You do have to get the card number, expiration, CVV, zip code, and email. But you can do an X for the address, the phone number, and all of the other information it asks you for to be able to cycle through it more quickly. Okay, solving registration emails. We really talked about this at the beginning because I like to cover this up front so that you all can get logged in and sort of follow along while we're doing the training. So this is just showing you again where you could request the digital cookie registration email. If it's saying that your email is not found, then you'll go ahead, select that council, select your girl's name and troop number, and find out, and then request the email. Or if it says that your email is not found, that's when you may want to contact us. Now, if it comes up with an old email for a parent and they want to update it, they can update it right here. But if the parent is registered in your troop as a volunteer as well, they cannot update their email address here because it's also their login to the volunteer toolkit and other tools. So they'll have to go back, give council a call or log into my GS, update their email address there, and then give it 48 hours to come back through to the digital cookie site. But if it's just a parent who's not registered as a volunteer, they can update their email address here. Usually though, it's an old email address, they still have access to it and they can go get out the email. So it's not really usually a big deal. So this is just showing how you can update that email address. Okay. So that is the end of the official DOC training slide. So myself and Laura are happy to answer questions about best practices. I really find the digital order app to be very easy to use. It's great that it has no fees that get passed on to the troop. So I think it's a really valuable resource because so few people carry cash at this point going to booths or when the girl is going door to door. Do we have any questions about the app or the site or anything you'd like me to go back to and touch on again? Great. I'm so happy to hear that. We will send out some things through the service unit cookie managers with screenshots. As we get into the program, we always have a couple questions about the DOC, so be on the lookout for additional resources. The really great thing about all of these tools, and to Laura's point there are like links in almost every page where you can click to learn more, or help pages. There's also, if you go to the Little Brownie website, there are some videos, like quick videos on the overreaching functionality. We don't use everything. We don't do we don't do online, we don't do customer in-hand orders. So that's one thing our council doesn't do that you may find in some of the general videos. But there are lots of resources out there if you get stuck or have a question, or always, reach out to your service unit cookie manager or one of us. We're always happy to help. Okay, and as far as reviewing how to zero cookies from the one scout whose DOC was used at a booth. So I'm going to use some really simple numbers. It's always probably going to be more complicated than this. But the other thing I always say too, if you're a brand new troop leader, the first time you come back from a booth, it is absolutely okay to get your service unit cookie manager on the phone and say, hey, can you walk through this with me? Because it is a little bit confusing. It's a lot of numbers, and it's not always a way that we intuitively think about something. So even myself at this point will sometimes just get another pair of eyes to say, this makes sense, right? So if you go to a booth and you sell 100 packages of cookies, just say, and you have 2 girls who have worked that booth. Okay, one of the girls used her digital order card app. She took payment for 25 packages of cookies. So when you come back to reconcile the booth, you'll have cash for 75 packages of cookies because you took payment through the DOC for 25 packages of cookies. So you'll come back, one girl will have, and we're gonna make it really easy and use $4 packages. She's going to have $100 in DOC payments on her eBuddy app, but none of the cookies from the booth. So what you're going to have to do first is look at her $100 in payments, and you'll need to know that she took orders for 25 packages of cookies. So you're going to move 25 packages of cookies to that girl first. That leaves you with 75 packages for the booth, but you know that you already gave 25 to the first girl, so you're only going to give her another 25 and 50 to the other girl while assigning the cash payments for what was remaining. So it's really just backing it out and making sure that you add cookies to that girl to match the payment, and then looking at what was left over. Some people do have the girls alternate the payments. I find that to be more confusing, but you'll get into a groove with the booths and figure out what really works for your troop. It is good to have a sheet that keeps track of booths, that keeps track of sales. So if you have a separate column that's DOC orders, and then you can kind of sort of keep track there. So order 1 was 4 packages of lemon ups. Okay, I'll hang out here for another 5 minutes or so. If anybody, or as long as we have questions, if anybody wants to add any questions or ask anything, please feel free. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great night. I know these couple of weeks after you place the initial order, when you're getting ready for the program, it's just a lot of waiting. So I know it's a tough time. Everyone's excited. You're all ready to go. So just hang in there. It's going to be here before you know it. And the weather for kickoff day on February 2nd is looking amazing statewide. So I think it's going to be a great day for our girls.